We're going to take you through our physical education gradebook that we've put together and come up with. And if you'll notice here, we've had a couple examples of students. This is our basic setup on our basic page. We've designated into 6 categories. Okay, those 6 categories help us to break down each of the different things within the category so that the student doesn't necessarily lose all points. We want to give them the maximum amount of points we can per day. So if you'll notice, we have preparation, fitness, knowledge, social interaction, skill, and participation. And within each of them, we have different categories. So, sneakers, if they change their top, or they only have change their bottoms, vice versa, as well as, fitness. Do they come in, do they do their warm-up, do they do certain parts of it? Now, if we go back to the grade book, that's where we can deduct the points from. There's drop downs on every box, and then we can pick the number related to that, and then that will reflect and deduct from the student's overall grade. We have one of these posted in each of the gymnasiums that gives our students a clear expectation of decisions they make and where they'll lose their points. So students are very much aware of this process and seem to be following it great.
The nice thing about the program is that we can track students and determine if there's any consistencies or inconsistencies with what they're doing on a daily basis. For example, this student has a note of 9 on here, which means they didn't complete their flexibility and strength component of their warm-up, and we can follow that through. For example, if again here they receive a numerical note of 9, we can see that they have some consistency issues with their warm-up, and we could talk to them about that immediately. Another issue we often have in phys ed is students who are unable to participate for whatever reason, and we have the note category of M standing for medical. We also have suspensions. Legal excuses would be if they were on a field trip and needed to still make up the work. If they were just to do written work, for example, we could provide them with written work. We use a current event document, and we send students out on tickets, and this is the ticket they receive. And we note at the top it's a medical, unprepared, legal, suspension, or written. And then if they're unprepared and they need to leave the gym, they have to receive a 75% or better to be able to have a remediation. Remediation is simply making the class up, and we have a pass for that as well that corresponds with the 6 categories. So let's go back here. If student 5, it says they were in medical all December, all you would do is type in the M and then type in the grade for that assignment, and it automatically averages in that day along with everything else. So if I just keep moving down the line here, putting in various grades, now all those averages for their medical assignments are now tallied in with the rest of the work that they have completed. Everything is listed over here at the very bottom or the back, so we can see what their overall preparation score is out of 4, fitness, etc. And then you can see here this student had 5 alternative assessments for an average of 87%. We also have individual assessments we could do here. So for Unit 1, there was an assessment or quiz. It was out of 4 points. It's worth 5% of their average, which gets them, 2.5 would be 63%. And again, that all averages in overall to their daily average. The nice thing about it is it does it automatically. We don't have to think about weighting in grades like that. Every 3 weeks we change our units in the high school. So for example here, Unit 1 would be badminton, which would be Dewey would be doing badminton, myself and Renee would be doing fitness center. So at the end of 3 weeks, we get to our next unit, which this time I'm doing fitness center and Miss LaValle is doing badminton, and the third unit would be basketball and yoga, for example. And in every 3 weeks in school tools, we update their unit averages, which is basically the culmination of all this in association to the time that they spend in it and the individual assessments. So everything is all averaged into here. So if you look, Unit 1 for this student 5, since all 5 days they were in medical, they received an 87. Unit 1 shows 87 here. The registration program is a card that the kids have the entire time they're in the school for the school year. And down here, we hand this back to them so they could see what teacher, what unit, and then that grade. And we give it back to them so that they can see exactly where they stand. Also on here is our self-evaluation. So the students, once again, they see the categories, which are posted on the wall, like Renee said, and they could read what the categories are, and then they assess themselves. So we know that they know what they're supposed to be doing and how often they should be doing it. And Renee's going to talk about our full value contract and our initiatives we do along with our registration process.
Okay, so once they change every 3 weeks, we used to do it every other Friday, but we decided this year that it might be good not to interrupt our units, so we do them in the change of the units. So after every 3 weeks, when the students have a new elective, we do a day with team initiatives. It has kind of evolved from Common Core and implementing different cross subjects and things within it. So we really try to focus there on the affective domain, as well as keeping them physically active. We work on team building during that time. Certain times we do our effective communicator. And in this that Dewey's put up, we have them develop goals, and we try to keep it really easy and simple for them to be able to attain. And we use the SMART goal formula, so they're specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, time-bound. We try to keep them within the quarter and geared towards different things having to do with both education as well as health and wellness. We do, for the effective communicator, we do different things within challenges for the kids, or we do coming up with an activity, really making them work in small groups or as a whole group, trying to solve problems, break through barriers. So we try to really evolve that initiative and team building as much as we can on those days in between the units.
There's a lot to this program that we didn't have the time to discuss here. We're available for questions anytime. This has been an ongoing and evolving process for the past 8 to 10 years, and every phys ed teacher in the middle and high school utilizes it, and also our elementary school teachers use a simplified version for their students as well. So if you have any questions, please ask. Thank you very much.